Video on evictions and move outs, and one of the things that landlords I guess have to go through sometimes, hopefully not often, is to evict a tenant and then to get the court order, to get the bailiff, who is the basically police of the housing court, to come and enter the premises and force the tenants out. So what happens is that the court requires you to hire a court-appointed moving company, and then the bailiff either knocks on the door, and if the tenants are in there and won't let them in, they can force themselves in with the warrant and judgment that was given during the eviction hearing. And all of this is known by the tenants. You know, the tenants, if they weren't at the hearing, the eviction hearing, then they would get a notice via mail and posted by the bailiff on their property or at their house. And then bailiff goes in, gets the tenants out of the house, and there's no choice in the matter. They have to leave, and then the movers start moving stuff out. So and then that process, depending on how much stuff is in the house, usually takes an hour, and then the bailiff will allow you to change the locks and secure the property so the tenant does not go back in. But then after the contents of the house are put on the curb, basically, or in the front yard, then the tenant has, I believe, 24 hours, or maybe, I don't really know, but I think it's 24 hours, but in reality, they need to get it out of there before 5 p.m. because I think after 5 p.m. you can, you need to get the stuff off the lawn, or you might get a ticket from the garbage department of the city for having garbage and stuff in your front yard. So it's kind of a pain in the butt that you as a landlord can get fined and in trouble because you're kicking or you're evicting a tenant and for being forced to move their contents out so the tenant can get it, and then you can get fined if you don't remove the contents, if the tenants don't move the stuff themselves. So the tenants know that, you know, if there's contents out on the lawn, people are gonna, especially if it's in a neighborhood that is not so great, their stuff is gonna get stolen, right? So it's kind of heartbreaking sometimes to see this happen, but the tenant had plenty of time, plenty of notice, knew about the eviction hearing for months, and knew about the date for the eviction, usually 2 to 3, maybe 4 weeks in advance of the scheduled date that the bailiff comes. So sometimes it's really out of your hands, and the process is what it is legally. So just went to a property that I wanted to look at. The landlord thought that the tenant already vacated the property. Obviously they did not, and you know, they just sometimes landlords just don't know what's going on with their properties. So you just have to verify. Luckily I didn't go when I arrived at the property. I didn't go into the property because the door was wide open up front, not knowing if the property manager was there and cleared it out and all that. So luckily I called them. They said the bailiff was on their way and the moving company was on their way, and yeah, that would have been not a good situation if I just entered the house, and especially with probably upset tenants and things like that in a neighborhood like that. So so just giving you a taste of what the eviction process entails, and just so you know, for future reference, and hopefully that you don't have to do that very often, but as a landlord you're going to have to do it as a matter of business sometime in your landlord career.